to prevent future head injuries in specific sport?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
I don't think so. But, no, I really don't think so, just because, sports are going to be sports. Sports that aren't contact sports end up becoming contact sports. Baseball.
Are you recording? Okay, start again. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I really don't think anything's going to be able to be done to prevent concussions, because a sport is a sport. You're going to go out there and play a game. Anything can happen. It's in God's hands, nobody else's. If a player is running out onto the field in football, he goes to make a tackle, and his head doesn't hit the other player, but when he hits the ground, his head hits the ground, that could be a concussion right there. And the same thing goes for even in baseball. That's the most uncontact sport that you can think of, but the close plays at home plate or even at any base, and it comes down to when players have to make contact with each other, that could lead into a concussion also. So I really don't think there's anything that can really be done to prevent that.
Until recently, there hasn't been a whole lot of emphasis on preventing head injuries. What do you think finally woke people up and made them realize this is a real issue?
Well, I think a lot of things woke them up, but of course the main ones being the NFL players killing themselves and killing their families. Something as tragic as that is going to obviously wake people up, but stuff like that has been going on forever. You see with Muhammad Ali, from his boxing career, he has Parkinson's, and something like that can't be prevented. And I just think what wakes people up is seeing all the tragedies that happen around the world, and that's what did it.
Do you think that influential heads of leagues and sports teams are doing anything to rectify this issue?
I think they're doing what they can. I know in the NFL they changed a lot of the rules as far as where the kickoffs are held and what's an illegal hit to the head, as far as what's head-to-head contact. So they are taking some steps, and the NFL is basically the main ones that are taking the hits for this, because of course it's former NFL players that are doing this, and it's the sport that has the most contact. So they're doing what they can, as much as they can, to not take away from the game also.
And do you take any personal steps with the kids to make sure that concussions can be prevented?
I do what I can. Like I said before, just limit the contact with them in practice. Try not to go as hard. I know when I would be coaching football and we were doing drills to learn how to block and learn how to do other things, I made sure to just go very slowly. I didn't want them going super fast, because game speed, that's when things happen. That's when concussions can happen. Actually, concussions can happen at any time, so I guess me preventing it is not going at a fast pace.
And have you ever experienced like a concussion or witnessed a concussion?
I have a student at the middle school I was working at was playing on a football field, and it was flag football, but he tried to be a superstar and jump over something, and he fell, hit his head. He was somewhat responsive, but also kind of blacking out, so we just continued to wake him up. And I'm not a doctor, so I didn't say that right then and there it was a concussion, but his parents did confirm later that it was a concussion, and they thanked us for doing what we did and keeping him alert at that time. So yeah, that was my experience with a concussion.
And did this interview give you a concussion?
Not at all.